Why do women lie? Why do women attack men? And why is it that we come back to love if we even go there? That's the topic of today's podcast. We have just been interviewing the 16 guys on our TSL Online call tonight. It is August 2nd, and we're talking about all the fucked up shit women have done to us. All the things. Some of us have been married. A lot of us have kids. Some of us haven't even had any of that, and we're talking about all the different things that have happened. And let's talk about them, actually. One, pretty much anybody who has kids has some sort of false abuse claim, rape claim, child abuse claim that comes against them, or a claim that actually gets entertained, like myself. Many people also have things which are directly attacking their reputation, using the courts against them, and this huge feeling of powerlessness. But here's why this discussion is important. Here's why it is so freaking fundamentally important. And if you're going through something where you're being attacked by a woman or you're being accused falsely of a rape claim, well, first, get a lawyer, get a really good lawyer and spend all your money on that, because if you don't, you're going to need to spend all of your money to fix all the mistakes of that lawyer. And you're going to have a lot worse consequences. But join a group of men where you can bounce stuff off of. Not just an online forum, not a Reddit group, but people that you know that can hold you accountable and work with you. In any case, this is the Daily Awesome Podcast, somewhat notorious now for making videos about this. This was actually stimulated because we were talking about some MGTOW and some red pill stuff, and more, I guess, MGTOW stuff. I don't know, whatever. This crazy shit out there. I get kind of the red pill stuff, but the MGTOW is just nuts, in my opinion. That all being said, I love you guys. I love you guys. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for the dislikes or the likes. But if you want to know more about this, you can click the free stuff link down below to get more involved in our groups. If you're listening to this on iTunes or Stitcher, give us a review, likes, all that sort of stuff. But if you're watching on YouTube, man, playlists. We have a lot of playlists that have to do with if you're divorced, or if you're dating in your 40s, or if you're dating in your 50s and stuff like that. How can you benefit in good ways where you can hold on to your strength? All right. Now, in what we talk about men's strength, men being themselves, men owning who they are, and all these different things. What is inevitably going to happen if you go through something like a breakup or a woman attacks you or whatever it is, they're going to go for a couple things. If you have kids, man, she's going to be pissed off about that. She's going to fight you for it. All right. The courts move in their favor a lot of the times. That doesn't always happen. There's men in our groups. There's actually three guys who have custody of their kids and not the wife, which is actually a very rare thing. Now, also, they're going to take your money. Divorces also get expensive. So you're going to be paying lawyers, and there's a lot of stuff that is going to happen. We're producing a video of all this stuff of like what to do when you get divorced, because that is some for real shit, man. We all have brutal war stories for it. But at the end of the day, all of us came out with a much different perspective than what we hear from some men. In fact, I would say that this is the majority of what men come to, is that they say things like, man, when I first started my groups back in 2007, there were guys who were part of it saying like, man, you know what? Like, nothing teaches you the greatest lessons of life like a good divorce, a good bloody divorce where you drag each other through the dirt. Nothing gives you more character. Man, because I went through a divorce, I really know myself, I know women, and I know my latitude of sexuality and self. These were all things that men have always been saying. And if what we're actually talking about here is there's a constant discussion of what happens during this because it's so common. And one of the things that I want to kind of take you guys through is some of the feelings and the processes that you're going to have when you go through a divorce or a custody battle or a woman attacks you. So like a lot of the guys had on here, in fact, I can even pull up the notes, is falsely accused of rape. One of the guys got that when he was in college. Man, pretty much every guy who was going through a divorce got something like that, or some sexual slander or some criminal accusation of sex put against them. Also, a lot of false molestation or child abuse charges, things like that. And even coming at them, throwing stuff, coming at them with knives, coming at them, attacking them, slashing tires, a lot of subversive things that we see and so on. And one of the things that we got to is, yes, that hurt us in the pocketbook. Yes, that hurt us in our reputation. That hurt us with our money. But one of the things that hurt us most, and this is really what we talked about that fucked us the worst, was that the feeling of powerlessness over the things that we valued most. Our independence, our kids, our reputation that we built, our sense of self. And one of the things that also came up with that was that the more we had a sense of self and the more we had direction and leadership in our life, whether we couldn't stand on our own 2 feet, but we had leadership around us, the easier that was to get through. And that's also why we have tons of divorced guys who are on our groups, or guys who join our groups even before they get a divorce. They're like, man, something's not right with my marriage or whatever. And we take them through it in a very, very good way. But here's the deal. As men, all of us go through this in a very, very, I'd say, masculine way. We say, you know what? I'm going to walk out with the shirt off my back. I'm going to rebuild my life. I can do it. You want to put something at me? I can do it. I'm going to be silent. I'm not going to talk shit. You can do whatever. I'm going to do these things. But once that woman gets under our skin, and man, we talked about this a lot, is why do women lie? Why do women hit us? Why do women attack us in this sort of way? Why do women go for the jugular? Well, part of it could be, it's a lot of things. I don't want to turn this into a hating women thing, but probably a lot of it has to do with the guilt of making that decision. I know whenever I break up with a woman or a woman breaks up with me and she, feels awkward about it, or maybe the fault's not all in her story or in her kid or in her, the fault isn't completely in her arena of what she did. She's got to make up a bigger story of why I'm an asshole, why this didn't work out. Why did I choose this guy? Why did I and man, I see this with men too. Why did I go out with this guy? This guy is a sociopath. That's the only way I would have gone out with him, because he was so smooth and he lied to me and he has all the characteristics. I Googled sociopath and psychopath and he fits the checklist and this is it. And I talked to my doctor friend and he agrees or whatever. And what's so funny is we hear men say this too, with female psychopaths or sociopaths or Machiavellians or narcissists, because if I were to choose that person, if I were to have a relationship with that person, that means that I willingly chose them. Why not take the better angle of having zero responsibility because they had a psychological disorder that fools everybody? Well, here's the thing. It's always your fault. You picked that person and they picked you. So that means if you don't fix the shit in you that attracts fucked up people, then you're going to continue to attract fucked up people. And so it's very easy when women or men or whatever go through a breakup to make that lie and more intense thing. Why would you leave your husband? Well, man, he was being sexual with the kids, or he was beating me, or he was, stealing money, or he was lying to people, or he was hitting on women, he was cheating. Whatever society will say is the worst thing and justify the actions of people leaving and breaking up, they'll go for. And you as men will go for. It's careful that you don't do that shit, man. Because why can't it just be, we didn't like each other? Or I think she's a fucked up person, but we're done. That is the healthy way to do it. So when that stuff starts happening, it fucks with us. And then that gets us to fight. And this is where it goes wrong. All right. So there's this phase that we go through. It's very important, guys. This phase that we go through when we break up, where we're like, man, okay, I can do it. I might be hurt. I might be butthurt. I might be angry, all that sort of stuff. But it's like, I can walk out, man. You can have whatever. Take it. Fucking whatever. Okay, wait a minute. You can't have the house. Okay, wait, I still want to see the kids. And then they start attacking. They start hitting you in this way. Well, I'm leaving you because, or I'm glad you left me because you were a fucking Machiavellian, narcissist, psychopath, sociopath, whatever the fuck it is. You're a rapist. You're a beater. You're an abuser. You're a fucking cheater. You're everything that society would then justify how I should be empowered is, the opposite of you, a woman that can now say, fuck you. And whatever's going to allow me in society to say, fuck you, you are. And you go, wait a minute, I'm not that shit. And then people start believing it. And then you hire a lawyer and it costs money. You go, I'm going to do it, man. I'm going to spend $100,000 to get my kids back. I'm going to blah, 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 blah. And then you go to court and the judges want to see your documents. And then you go to court and maybe she talks some shit and the judge tells you to shut up when you talk some shit. And you're like, well, wait a minute. She talks some shit and you're like empathizing with, you're sympathizing with her. You're addressing it. And it's frustrating. It's fucked up. Or maybe during that whole time, it's like your car tires get slashed or the windows in your car get broken, but there's no evidence to prove it on her. Or maybe this actually happened to me. They take pictures of you and they say rapist in whatever city that you're living in, and they post it all over town. It's like, well, who did that? It must have been my ex. It must be these people, but you can't prove it and you're disempowered. And when you want to fight and you can't fight as a man, that's when it fucking sucks. And that is the spawn for all these guys that are like, fuck, MGTOW, Red Pill. And I get that they're different. I get that they're fucking different. I get that you guys are different. And, it's kind of like fucking radical Muslim dude is very different than a radical Baptist or a fundamental Baptist dude. But if you're blowing up an abortion clinic, it's not that much different if you're blowing up, some other icon of America. I get there might be more deaths or whatever, but it's both fucked up shit. And you kind of go into this fucked up, like, I accept zero responsibility because I can intellectualize my way out of it, and da-da-da-da. So then what happens here? Because we've all been there. We've all been mad. It is such an empowering thing to say, man, I'm writing off women. I can do it. I can live my life. I can fucking smoke cigars, play pool. I can drink beers. I can fucking watch sports. And this is going to be the fucking goddamn life. But so something happens. And so sometimes this will happen for a year. Sometimes this will happen for years. But again, be a part of a men's group. Be a part of a men's group where men go the full cycle. That's fucking key. That is motherfucking key. Man, I don't care what men's group you belong to, but face to face, don't fucking do some online bullshit. We have calls that are 4 times a week. They go on for 20 plus hours. You don't have to be on all of them. But man, we are a men's group. And when we meet up, we meet up. When we're traveling in the different areas of the world, if I'm in Denmark, we meet up. If I'm in Germany, we meet up. If people come to Austin, we meet up. We spend as much FaceTime as we can because that's accountability, man. There's a huge level of bonding and trust that we have, but get something, man. There's so many of them. There's different groups where people are really seeking to better themselves. Do that. That's very, very important. Because there's a time where we're like, man, I don't need fucking women. I don't need bitches. Fucking shit, man. They're fucking crazy. Women are crazy. Women attack you, man. You talk shit. Even now, today, I'm married, and with my married friends, we go, man, fuck. Fucking wife said that. She's fucking crazy, man. Jesus Christ. She's talking all this shit and blah, 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 blah. And then we go back and we can chill the fuck out because we don't need to react, right? We don't need to get involved in that discussion. And a lot of times stuff passes. So that all being said, that dude has to be able to decompress. He has to be able to vent. He has to be able to say these things and not have it be this like crazy, crazy commitment to his life. Then what happens is all of a sudden you go, God damn, man, that bitch is hot. See, when you're a man that has sworn off women, or you're a man that says that women are too stupid, or that they're less than, or there's this hypergamy thing where they just care about money and status and all this sort of stuff, you don't let yourself be a man that can just like tits and ass for liking tits and ass. You like tits and ass because now it is your right. It is your power. You're a man. You're a king and all this sort of stuff. And no, man, I just like kick fucking tits and ass because I like to stick my dick in between them. And I like to put my face in them. And I like them to cuddle with me. I like them to fuck me. I like them to caress me. I like all these different things that can't be put into words or societal definitions about tits and ass or pussy or women or whatever, because I like it, because that is my biology, and every single human action has to exist within the platform or ecology that it is in. That is a principle of life. We cannot take that away from ourselves, that we can think we could rob ourselves from our biological mechanics of wanting to fuck. And if you're heterosexual, that is women. At some point, different people have different sex drives. But goddamn, man, if I want to fuck a chick, that doesn't mean that I need to fear my bank account. I need to fear, me being accused of whatever. That shit happens, but you can do some things to prevent it. Like not be stupid. And how do we learn to not be stupid? We have some experience, right? So all you people that are swearing off women, or you're being warned about it, but your dick hasn't touched a pussy, or you fucked a few chicks, but you haven't really had a relationship, man, don't let this political fucking, campaign of whatever, of how to be a man by scared, fearful men who choose weakness over strength to rob that experience from you. God damn it, man. Do not. Go fuck. Go have some relationships. Go have some sex. Go learn about sexual escalation. Listen to the TSL podcast. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, boom, right there, man, or maybe right there, I don't know. But find the playlist on how to fuck better. Do those things because it's great, and let it get carried away. See, because When you start to get sexual with a woman, when you go, oh man, tits and ass, da 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 da. Yeah, sure, I get it, MGTOW guys. You're more than your orgasm. Absolutely. But if you don't have your orgasm, what are you? You are denying things of yourself. You are holding back a force of nature. You are then what? You are your choice? You are your expression? No, you're holding back your expression. You are not those things. You are holding that back because you are afraid, because you might get fucked again. And man, let me tell you, I've been fucked a lot, but I have good relationships now. Why? I don't choose crazy bitches. 2, if I sense craziness or something I don't like, I stop it. 3, I know how to hold on to my goddamn orgasm so it doesn't rewrite my whole goddamn life that I cave and give myself in. I am supposed to fuck somebody and want to give my life to her and maybe even feel love. But that does not mean that I do stupid shit. That means that I like her tits, I like her ass, I like her face, I like fucking her. I feel my emotions, I feel love for her, I want to take care of her. But after I'm out of that, I can make choices because I'm used to it. Because I have life experience. I've been with a lot of women. I've felt a lot of love with them. I've felt what you feel when you fuck a lot. I've felt what you feel when you're in a relationship and you commit. And I know that that doesn't mean that it has to be my full expression. See, there's this thing. One of the guys in our groups, his wife hired somebody to kill him. And the dude actually shot at him a bunch of times. Actually, not on our groups. There's a guy I know that his wife put out a hit on him and the guy stabbed him. Or no, the guy shot him. And then the dude who got the hit put on him stabbed him and killed the dude. Right? So this does happen. This happens with crazy people. This happens with people, and there are crazy people out there, and you should watch out for them. But if you have attracted a crazy person, even if they're so crazy you couldn't see because they're crazy and they fool psychiatrists, you lived with them. You were around them enough for them to be so angry that they're going to kill you or whatever the fuck it is. You have something to work on. You have a major, major malfunction. That person was attracted to you, not because you're great, but because you're stupid. And you need to stop being stupid. Okay? And how do you stop being stupid? Number 1 is you don't blame people. Number 1 is you don't blame your ex. Number 2 is that you fucking start to step up your life in a way that comes from expression and self-examination. Anytime you take your problem, let's say somebody stole money from you, you're a pure victim, or you got the shit beat out of you and somebody pulled you out of a car and fucking raped you or whatever, the worst possible thing you could imagine, the worst societal thing that you could complain about. You need to examine your problem by examining yourself at some point. That doesn't mean that you're to blame and you should feel ashamed, but it means that you were somehow responsible for putting yourself in that situation. And I guarantee you, if it was a relationship, it isn't so blinding as somebody robbing who doesn't know you. You attracted that person, they attracted you. For men, in order to heal and step into who they are as their best possible fucking selves, man, you have to have responsibility. And there's so much power in you. There's so much potential. Why aren't you taking it? Life is bigger than your fear. You do need women, if you're a heterosexual man, to complete you. This is not bullshit. You have to repress a part of yourself to not do that. Your sex, your biggest biological driver, man. Jesus Christ, life cares more that you procreate rather than you live. So, one of the most important things is that we learn to express and open ourselves up. And everybody always says, well, if you just express, you're setting yourself up to get hurt. If you're at war. If you express, you're setting yourself up for people to express honestly back towards you. And that's where all those beautiful things like morality come from. They don't come from people blocking it and putting up more walls and all this sort of stuff and picking up arms before you've met somebody. And the sad thing about our culture is that we're starting to do that shit rather than open ourselves up, learn to get to know people and connect to them. I'm not talking about countries. I'm not talking about nations. I'm talking about the people that you face-to-face talk to. That is the core of humanity, and that is what we were born to be. In any case, if you like this, check out our playlist, man. Check out our latest video. Check out whatever. If you're listening to this on iTunes or Stitcher, click the free stuff link down below. Get involved in our communities. And check us out on YouTube because we're really doing a lot to kind of mix everything in where you can see all the different stuff that we do. We talk about a lot of stuff. We've been a men's group really since 2009 where we were constantly on calls, talking and meeting up with each other. But man, We've been doing this since 2006, and it's really, really amazing. We built up so many men who are living great lives that are fucking awesome. So when we talk about men's excellence and gaining our power, that is what we do. All right. Talk to you guys later. Enjoy the other podcasts that we have and give us some love. I'm Steve Mayeda signing off. Later.